step out of this for a second. This is me. I'm a robot. We might be in reality, we might not. It's not entirely sure. There's strange computer terminals all the way, but we are completely surrounded by puzzles, and each puzzle has a shape at the end of it. So, for example, there's a sign here that's saying these shapes are this way, and if we go that way, we'll find the puzzles, normally behind little purple doors like that. And by solving the puzzles, if you look in the top left-hand side of the screen, if I just move the chat. If I just move the chat out of the way. That should be okay. There's above my head, there's like an A, and you can see to get the A, I need to have those 4 green shapes. So those are the four shapes we need to go and look for. And then there's a yellow puzzle which requires 4 yellow ones and so on. So I need to complete those by finding the relevant shapes. Oh, right. This is the second part of my certification program that we were looking at before. Attention, part 2 of the certification program has now been generated. Part 2 has been designed to test the consistency of some of your outlier responses in the previous round. You will be presented with a series of statements. Please indicate your agreement where appropriate. Okay, I agree. 3, 2, 1, here we go. Since only animals can be persons, a machine could never be a person. Well, what is personhood? Is personhood, Mrs. Gren, respiring, thinking, breathing, growing, changing? Or is it about independent sentient thought? If it's about independent sentient thought, then in theory a machine could be a person if it's capable of making different decisions. I mean, human beings in a way are simply reacting to cause and effect, just far more complex cause and effect than machines are. But if personhood is to do with the soul, or to do with something special and unique about what makes a person, it's interesting they say only animals can be persons, because you wouldn't normally say a cat is a person. I think I broadly disagree. Because if a cat could be a person, then why couldn't a machine be a person? Because it might not have life on the same biological definition, but it could still be sentient on a wider definition. And I agree here. I mean, I wouldn't say all animals are persons. So I think I actually disagree with the statement on 2 levels. I'm also aware that they time the length of my responses, so by taking a long time to make this decision, it shows that I'm grappling with it. Perhaps I'm less spontaneous than I thought I was. My input has been expected. A person is under no authority other than that to which they consent. A person is under no authority other than that to which they consent. Well, my first instinct is to say I disagree because of, people that live under dictatorships and things like that. The second thought is then to go, well, what about those people who live under like a kind of religious belief and they voluntarily follow an authority with their consent? I think it depends on the circumstance. Because I think there are times when people are forced to live under certain totalitarian regimes. But I think there are also times in which people either overtly or subconsciously consent to the authority in which they're put under. And this one says a person is under no authority, like there's no room, there's no most. But then again, it's broadly agree and broadly disagree. So if by broadly we're saying most people, if by this was saying most people. I don't understand the phrase "can is slow." Can is slow. I don't understand the phrase, Naya Chris. Because if it's most people are under no authority other than that to which they consent. But then again, you know, everyone's born under a government, and you might consent to the government. Oh, am I out of? I'm sorry. I mean, that keeps happening, and that, yeah, just tell me and I'll fix that one. Well, there you go. That should be. So that should be sorted now. Yeah, no, you're dead right now, Chris. I changed something on my computer a week ago, and every time I load it up, I just need to refresh the camera. So thank you. I don't know. I still think there are some people that are under authority to which they don't consent to, even if in the majority of cases, I think that they do. So I think but it's not agree or disagree. It's broadly agree or broadly disagree. And I think I actually broadly agree, whilst there are exceptional circumstances and sad circumstances in which I disagree. So do I say agree or do I say disagree? I think I've just talked myself into saying that I agree. But I feel like I want to be able to type my objections to my own agreement. Then again, if I objected to the authority that I'm under, do I really have a choice? If I objected to the authority and rebelled against it, then I would be then forced to comply. I disagree. I'm going to disagree. The quality of life of persons ought to be maximised. See, that's not an observational question, that's a moral question. That's not a question about what is, it's a question about what should be. We've moved from a is to an ought, which many philosophers would say is a fallacy. You know, if you start off with this is a glass, the glass is blue, therefore glasses ought to be blue, you create a kind of logical, not paradox, but a logical jump. I've moved from describing what is to what should be, and there's not necessarily a connection between the two. What the frock am I wearing? I'm sorry, I have my glasses to be worn over glasses here. I could wear the glasses over the glasses if you'd like. Although it does seem a little excessive in terms of the amount of glass that I would in fact have on. These are my Gunners, yes. I'm glad you guys have started to recognise my face wear. Well, leaving aside the logical jump. Yes, but ought your glass to be blue? Ought your glass to be blue? I do these questions in my class. This is my subject. This is why I'm unable to just quickly pick one and click it. Okay, leaving aside the logical jump, do I think that the quality of life of persons ought to be maximised? I mean, there's kind of a hint of capitalism and communism here, isn't there? You know, because a communist would say the quality of life of all persons ought to be maximised, but then as a political result of that, the quality of life of all is not maximised. Where if you go into capitalism, they don't say that the quality of life of all should be maximised, just those who either earn or deserve or so on, and then their quality of life go up. So, and I don't know, I'm very much a kind of middle of the road type person. I neither particularly sit on the left or the right. I disagree, Spots Knight. I think these are very different questions. I guess I'm defining quality of life as standard of living. What other definition would there be? That's funny, Trench. Well done, you made me laugh. Trench wouldn't mind her glass being blue. I think ideologically I agree that the quality of life of persons ought to be maximised, but I think I pragmatically disagree because I don't think it's actually possible without ruining economies. And I'm also still uneasy on this moral question. I'm probably broadly utilitarian, but more on the preference side than the act. If I click disagree, does that make me a bastard? Does it make me look like I don't care? I do care. I just don't think it's possible. But I guess the question doesn't say could be maximised. It says ought. So if we're talking purely from a do I wish it to be the case, I would say I broadly agree. But if we were saying would I make it happen, the answer perhaps would be no. So I think I broadly agree, with a big asterisk. Well, that's mean. Value is discovered. See, this is a kind of an intrinsic or instrumental debate. This is I'm used to the intrinsic instrumental debate, which is all about whether something is valuable in and of itself, or whether something is valuable because of its use. So, for example, take a cow. Some people would say a cow has intrinsic value because it's a living, breathing, sentient creature that consents and is part of nature, and it is valuable. It just is valuable. That cow is valuable. It's intrinsically valuable. Other people would say, no, the value of the cow comes from the fact that it gives us milk, and it gives us beef, and it gives us something to tip over in the winter. And that would be the value is instrumental, but value is discovered. I don't think I've come across this phrase before. Well, that's instrumental value. Hughes, you've misunderstood my point, probably deliberately. Value is discovered. I suppose you sometimes, if you want to go deep and romantic, you can say that value is not always apparent. Is this what my lessons are like? I wish my lessons were like this. I'd love my lessons to be like this. Sadly, now my lessons are more like little miniature riots. But I'd love some deep thinking. Oh yes, if we're talking about steak, everyone, is it March the 14th? Yeah. March the 14th. Google it. Thank me later, man. Value is discovered. I don't know. Do I discover value, or do I see it straight away? I broadly agree that value is discovered. I don't think you always know the value of something straight away. And often it has to be either thought about or applied later. I mean, I think that's probably why society has to go through changes such as there's been slavery, and there's been inequality between men and women, and there's been stigma to almost every minority group in the first instance. And then, the value or the equality is then discovered through rational thought and reason and empathy and sympathy. So yes, I think I agree. I don't know what February the 15th is, Spots Note. That could be a whole other day. I'm just looking forward to, March the 14th. Oh God, there's another one. I'm not sure I can cope with these. My brains are going to go, it's 5 of 7. Persons deserve the talents they were born into. Persons deserve the talents they were born into. My first instinct is no. I'm not sure I agree with talent as a concept. In school, and this is not just my school, this is all British schools, we have this thing called gifted and talented, and these are supposed to be the pupils that are better at your subjects, and you differentiate for them, meaning you give them harder work to do, which I completely agree with the principle that students that you a higher level, you give them harder things to do so they can stretch them, and I agree with that. But what I don't agree with is the word gifted and the word talented, because it implies some sort of innate ability or innate disability of certain people. And whilst, yes, I do think there's differences in IQ, I think so much of it is, in my view at least, I think so much of it is acquired. Yeah, Spots. Yeah, you let people at home know. You let everyone know. Yeah, re-advertise that around. I believe there's a website. I mean, you better celebrate it twice, Spots. You don't want to, miss celebrating it with everyone else. Yeah, I think talent is acquired. I think talent is done through upbringing and by hard work. And I actually find the word talent, quite insulting. Like if I take something I'm good at, like I'm good at playing the piano. And if someone said to me, you had a real talent for playing the piano, I wouldn't be offended because I know what they mean. But the idea that I was born with it negates all of the work that I put into it and the hours and hours and hours of researching and playing and practicing or public speaking, and these things take time. So I think people deserve the talents they develop. And also but I'm confused by this phrase because I don't see who would agree with this. Because you'd have to have a very strange outlook to say people only deserve the talents they're born into, because maybe I'm missing like a hidden depth or a argument here. Because surely everyone would disagree with this. So I'm going to disagree, but I feel I'm missing the counter argument on this one. The liberty of persons ought to be maximised. Spots Knight disagrees with me. Some people put in a lot of work and practice but still don't reach the same level of skill as others. I agree with that. I don't think you're wrong. I just think that the idea that someone is just naturally good at something is also wrong. I think if a person is naturally good at something, there'll be something about their upbringing that will have developed relevant skills that are relative to that. And I agree, not everyone could be a Mozart, but Mozart. Oh, that sounds like an easy. Barry. Anyway, moving on. The liberty of persons ought to be maximised. You got locked in it. Well, yes, exactly. If Mozart got locked in a room for a week to practice, maybe he was a prodigy because he was forced to be. I mean, it's like all of these guys, like the tennis stars whose parents bully them into it, or Michael Jackson whose dad forced him into pop music from the early age. I mean, these geniuses are rarely just geniuses. It's more that they are simply obsessed with their craft to the point that they can be nothing but. The liberty of persons ought to be maximised. Well, my initial thought is, well, of course, everyone should be free. My next thought is that yeah, the game down. Let me know. That's down about half where it was before. Let me know. My secondary thought on liberty being maximised is, I'm not advocating anarchy, because obviously you need law and order, but obviously some people believe in a lot more law and order than others. I always think there's a slight contradiction in right-wing thinking, because right-wing thinking often believes that there should be a minimum of government and a minimum of intervention, but they also tend to be the people that believe the strongest in law and order and justice and things. So they simultaneously want very little government interference in their lives while maximising the government interference in other people's lives. It's an interesting word, maximised. It's not just that people should have liberty, it's that it should be pushed to its highest state. Because if you push it to its highest state, then you remove the restrictions that society places, and a lot of those restrictions are for people's own benefit, or for the benefit of the majority. One person's liberty is another person's prison. But then again, it does say liberty of persons, so everyone's liberty. Is there a scenario whereby if everyone is very free, that it's bad? Well, I suppose so, because it's not saying the safety of a person ought to be maximised, and this isn't quality of life, it's... Have you noticed how we've gone two is questions and an ought, and two is questions and an ought, and again we've gone value is discovered, people deserve the talents, and then an ought question again. Something about what do I think should be. I don't know if that's just random order or whether there is a thing. We haven't actually got to the freaking game yet. We've spent all day looking at this questionnaire, and I agree liberty maximised in school would be horrific, although it would teach personal responsibility. Or it would close the school, one of the two. But if I say broadly disagree, then I'm saying that liberty should be curtailed, which I do agree with, but I do not agree that... I'm definitely more of a liberal than I am a fundamentalist. And by pressing disagree, I wouldn't want to stand up and be counted with those that believe that freedom should be squished. I don't want to be a Kim Davis. But I agree with AI's crazy that not saying maximised is not saying minimised. I agree. But sometimes by not saying one thing, you end up saying something that you don't mean to say. And if I say I don't believe it should be maximised, do I implicitly suggest that it should be minimized? I should put this debate on YouTube. I think it's an important one. I think people would be fascinated to see me playing an action-based computer game and staring at the computer screen for the better part of 20 minutes. I think I've persuaded myself that I want to press disagree, but feel that I should press agree. What would you guys press? I pressed disagree. What would you guys have pressed? Value is created. Back to the value questions. Well, looks like you guys are pretty split as well. What's that? 2 agrees, 3 disagrees, maybe? All right, well, new question. Value is created. I think for the human race to function, value has to be intrinsic. Humans have to be valuable just because they exist. But then again, I suppose you could argue a human is created, but is that just playing with words? When you find a diamond, you haven't created the value, it just is. But then again, businesses create a product. The product is valuable because it has been made. You could argue that value is created by society. You could argue that, even using the diamond example, you could argue that the diamond and the coal are simply 2 different substances, and the value is created by the society that happens to value the diamond far more than it values the coal. But the thing that holds me back from pressing yes is whether this question is an is question or an ought question. Because if it's what I think happens, then I agree. If it's an ought question, then maybe I disagree, because I think that human beings and life and sentient creatures the value just needs to just be there. Just exist. Otherwise, you're left with a situation where you apply value to certain people and certain races and certain genders and certain things and not others. That's a good point, Mikey. But the statement isn't value is situational. True, and Spots Knight raises a good point that this isn't, that it does not say ought in the sentence, it says is. In which case, by my logic, I agree. Okay, I agree. Thank you, your certification process is now complete. You will receive a notification when your user profile has been generated. Oh, we have 3 documents to read. Okay, let's read these 3 documents. It's from Ian. My first day at the Institute for Applied Neomatics. On the way to work, I'm terrified. What if they don't like me? What if they're all geniuses and I'm a complete buffoon? Maybe they were just kidding about letting me work there. Trembling. I walk in, and right at the entrance, there's a life-size poster of Jeff Goldblum. What the hell? Then I get it. The Institute for Applied Neomatics. Ian. Dr. Ian Malcolm from the Jurassic Park movies, Jeff Goldblum. Dr. Sarabhai shows up smiling. We were trying to find a cool acronym back when the Institute was founded. She says, Inapiano. It all sounded stupid, but we didn't want to call it Ian because, well, that's a name. And someone made a joke about calling it Jeff, and it kind of stuck. So we're officially called Jeff, but if you hear anyone referring to Jeff, well, that's our internal name, I guess. I know, bloody geeks. And after that conversation, I wasn't so scared anymore. This is what I was talking about yesterday. Like, we're inside an office, except we're not. We're outside. Athena analysis. Novel's first sentence. She woke up. User Alex1694 notes. She woke up in an impossible place, knows nothing. Signifies more than beginning another amnesia-based mystery, although we should not go so far as to read the entire work as an allegory. Rather, while taking the science fictional novus at the core of its narrative at face value, we should error. Note number 2, having no inherent knowledge of the nature of the world, forced to rely on what we are told by others and what our own subjective, flawed, limited senses tell us. Error. Social reality, belief, and objective reality matter come into conflict. That middle paragraph, that's what we've been talking about with all these questions. Look at it. That's where we are here, our character and in fact us. We have no inherent knowledge of the nature of the world, forced to rely on what we are told by others and what our own subjective, flaw-limited senses tell us. Yes, our senses are so limited and subjective. Everything is subjective. Maybe not everything. Although that's my subjective viewpoint, so who knows? Maybe if I was being objective, I'd have a different point. Note number 3. Apparently I've made AI's crazy, very unproductive work. I'm sorry. When in chapter 16, A Second Awakening in the Kingdom of Artemis, the protagonist questions her mentor on the error. Note number 4, a more meaninglessly interpretation can only be achieved through synderesis of error. This next document is called Talos Principle, which is what the whole game is called. So I'm very intrigued about what is going to be in the document called the Talos Principle. Whether it is true that Daedalus constructed the giant Talos, or as others say, he was the creation of Hephaestus, what we may be certain of is that he was made of bronze and had but one vein, within which flowed a liquid substance like blood, which some claim was quicksilver and others assert was ichor, such as flows in the veins of the gods. The loss of that liquid caused him to die, as a man dies when he loses his blood. May we not say that Talos, though created as a machine or a toy, had all the essential properties of a man? He moved of his own volition. He spoke and could be spoken to, had wishes and desires. Indeed, in the tale of the Argonauts, that was the cause of his own downfall. If, then, a machine may have all the properties of a man and act as a man while driven only by the ingenious plan of its construction and the interaction of its materials according to the principles of nature, then does it not follow that man may also be seen as a machine? Let me read that sentence again. If then a machine may have all the properties of a man and act as a man while driven only by the ingenious plan of its construction and the interaction of its materials according to the principles of nature, then does it not follow that man may also be seen as machine? This contradicts all the schools of metaphysics, yet even the most faithful philosopher cannot live without his blood. Is this the stuff from like I, Robot and all that, those kind of books? Isaac, whatever it is. You know, about where the machine, it's all like Terminator 2 and, you know, there's lots of science fiction books that have tackled this. You know, even if you just go to, you know, Data in Star Trek, and it's about what defines life. Which is obviously then supposed to refer to our character, because our character seems to be machine. I shall take care of my blood. Right, this sign is pointing us towards the shapes that we currently need. What the? Did you see that? There was like another little, like something fizzed in front of the sign. Okay, well we want a green L. Which I guess is going to be behind the amphitheater over here. Green L. The guards must be crazy. So when you go through a purple door, as far as I can tell, you enter a specific puzzle. And each puzzle has a title, and the goal is to get that particular shape. Those things will kill me if I get too close. Whoa! There's one of the jammers is over there. Interesting. Can I get past this by kind of sprinting past it here? Like if when the machine comes out, can I kind of sneak through? Seems to give you like a kind of second or two to kind of get in and out and round. Whoa. Okay, that machine's jammed, so I'm gonna jam this machine again with that one, and then take that jam and put it down. So every time I point one of these yellow things at the machine, it stops moving. So a lot of these puzzles kind of work by careful movement and placement of the jammers, kind of turn taking and things. Press H. Oh right, wow. Good night. Well, there we are. Of course, the next question will be is, you know, are we that or am I me? I'm the one playing the game, but I'm playing that character. So if I play that character, do I become... Whoa. In the role of a robot, am I sentient? I do not know. Okay, so I've got myself to the other side of this door by using the different jammers. Because you can point more than one jammer at the object. Ah, here we go, which has brought us through to the solution. Here we go. Our green L. The frame lowers, let us exit. Got it. I think the other one was to the right, but is it wrong that I'm curious about the environment? Oh, there are islands. Is each island one of these puzzle worlds? Is the sea even moving? Moving a little. One of the tests I've heard Isn't one of the things they do in like some of these TV programs and films and stuff to see if something's alive is to you know, see if something appreciates beauty or aesthetically. I think I was told it's my role to tame the world, wasn't it? What happens if I get into the water? Do I die?
In the beginning were the words, and the words made the world.
What just happened? We got spoken to and then everything rewound. And now the voice isn't speaking anymore. Here we go. I am the words are everything. Where the world ends, the world ends. You cannot go forward in the absence of space. Repeat. In the beginning were the words, and the words made the world. I am the words. The words are everything. Where the words end, the world ends. You cannot go forward in the absence of space. Repeat. It's a warning to not go forward off the edge of the world. It's also a reference to, is it John 1? In the beginning I was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God, and whatever the reference is. Well, that's a Bob Ross sky, isn't it? I think Bob would be pretty pleased with that one. I believe there is a tradition sending out good quality skies. Yeah, we need some magic white. We've got to beat the devil out of it. Alright, next puzzle. I love these little... I love this... I think I overused the word juxtaposition, and I'm not sure I fully understand it, but I love the strange contrast of these wonderful ruins and trees and skies with this kind of computerized force fields and terminals and things. It's like it doesn't fit, but it works. What was it called? Hall of Windows. Something Windows. Okay, so we've got a jammer, 2 jammers, but you can't take a jammer through here. If I try and walk through here, so I can't, it won't work, so I have to point this through the windows. I can't see this one. From the other one though. So now I have no jammer with me. Hmm. There's 2 more windows here. Why would I need that? So the problem is I need to get through here. But I need a jammer to do it. So the obvious thing is to kind of go and get this jammer, but if I pick up this jammer, then I can't get through there. So I must have that jammer there. Which means the only other jammer I can use to do that one is this one. But if I move this jammer to do that one, then I can't get through here. Is it as simple as that? Did that do it? That did it. Aha! There we go. And then this door just opened to let us out. I think that one kind of seemed harder than it was. Just about the kind of order that you did it. This area is so pretty. Alright, so now we have enough to open the door marked A, or door A. So, what the heck? What? Is that me? No, it's not. Can I click on it? Hello? So what do we do with that then? It was clearly identified as a recording, but was it a recording of me? A recording of another? A recording of a previous? I right-clicked on it, but I don't, and it disappeared, but I don't know if the right-clicking was connected to it disappearing. It could have just been coincidence. I don't think I ever went up those stairs. I don't think that was a memory of me, but I could be wrong. I've walked around quite a lot. Right, so now we've got... So this is the temple. Those of you that haven't seen this game before, you go through the teleport and you come out in this temple, which allows you, which connects lots of different worlds. 7 of them, to be precise. And... we didn't find that star. Somewhere in that world is a star. And this is the door that wasn't open. So there we go, there's all the pieces we found. So a little bit of spatial awareness required, which is not my strong point. Let's try a... Oh, there you go. Not too tricky. Alright. So we're in. Now what? The missing heads are disconcerting me. Every statue has no head. Why? Were they there and then they were removed, or were they never removed? Or is it linked to the whole personhood? They're not person, they're not free, they're not valued, or is it just because? And to go to the next question, why is there a big metal lift in this quite clearly wooden stone building? Are they missing hands? Yes, they could well be missing hands. That's the same statue, isn't it? There's some more at the other end. Let me test the hypothesis. Are these all the same statue? I think this one has a hand. Yeah, there's a hand. I agree, it looks like that one has come down. But now you've said that, they do look a bit stumpy. I love the light in this room. I was telling one of my friends earlier about how much I love lighting and how it makes things look. There we go. That's lighting. Mm-hmm. Alright, so there's a lift, a metal lift in a stone. And we've got a button.
You have proven yourself worthy, child, and this gate shall be forever open to you. Seek now the other worlds I have given you, that you may attain even greater mastery and bring glory to your kind. But remember, you must not ascend the great tower, for it shall bring death and the end of your generations.
And do not eat of the apple. Well, this looks very different, doesn't it? Where are we? Huh. Of course, there's a terminal. Whoa. Whoa. Now that's a Bob Ross sky. Oh, so this is the Great Tower, which we shouldn't ascend? Or it will bring death to the generations. So we've got a big building marked with a B and a big building marked with a C. And there's building A again, telling us what we found and what we haven't found. The mountains look beautiful. There is this. The tower. Look, there's a QR code. Wait. I'm afraid of that tower. There's something terrible inside it. Never think about it. Don't even look at it. Just focus on doing the work. Sia V13 10244. With a cloud swirling above it. See, now here's the question. If we're supposed to be kind of role-playing, you know, this kind of character, do we ascend or not? Because obviously it's just a game, let's just ascend. But that's because there's no consequences for us. But there is for the creature we inhabit. Or person, or robot, or free-thinking creature. What do you think? Do we climb? Ice. In the beginning were the words, and the words made the world. I am the words are everything. Where the worlds end, the world ends. See, look, the whole place is glitching. If the whole place is glitching, it's not real. It can't be real. Or we're glitching, which means we're not real. Is it human to be inquisitive? I like that. Is it human to be inquisitive? Yes, it's human to be inquisitive. That's how you make progress. That's how you discover. That's how you make new technology. That's how you do things differently to how you did them before. It's how you move from working towards to working from. So there's a tower. And another terminal. And a locked door. What's the bet? There's a locked door on the other side as well. Yep. And another terminal. And what's behind the door? Would we really be punished for climbing a tower placed provocatively in front of us? This must be the tower we were warned about. Seems the upper levels are locked tight. Below him is taking no chances that we stray from his path. Sheep, verse 69, 1:576. Well, that possibly implies we can enter a little way. Is it forbidden fruit? Eve didn't eat the apple because she was curious, did she? Or eat the fruit. She ate it because she was told it would make her like God. She was tempted by power, not by curiosity. We aren't desiring power so much as answers. Although at the risk of increasing the mega cheese, I'm not entirely sure what the question is. There is another building. Knowledge is power. That is a phrase, yes. One can be curious without desiring power, even if one does desire knowledge. Alright, so what's the mysterious building at the back? There is a star. And a lock. Knowledge can be dangerous. See, there's where we get back into the whole liberty argument. I don't know, I feel people that want to repress knowledge and understanding normally just want to repress. I don't buy the same argument. By denying yourself knowledge, you're kind of accepting someone else may or may not know what's best for you. Without ever really making that judgment for yourself, and that doesn't sound too healthy, does it? Well, it doesn't look like we can do anything with that weed shape for now. Well, I'm assuming that sign on the door is saying that we're eventually going to be blocked from ascending the tower. Which in theory means there should be no harm with ascending the tower, because it's going to be locked.
Cannot detect location of primary subject. Query. Query. Query.
That sounded like a computer. Cannot detect location of primary subject. Query, query, query. He's a machine. He is a machine. If he's a machine, what does that change? Whoa. Sphinx. A Sphinx and a door. Many doors.
Is there anything that we associate more closely with intelligence than curiosity? Every intelligent species on Earth is attracted by the unknown. Our mythologies are full of riddles and mysteries and divine knowledge. Even the word apocalypse means revelation. It seems like our ancestors always imagined that, even at the very end, we would solve one last mystery.
I believe the game's designers just admonished our curiosity, but also rewarded it. Congratulations, Dragon Heart and Soul. Was that their little box of knickknacks? I think they've just foreshadowed the end. What was the line? Even at the very end, something.
Associate more closely with intelligence than curiosity. Every intelligent species on Earth is attracted by the unknown. Our mythologies are full of riddles and mysteries and divine knowledge. Even the word apocalypse means revelation. It seems like our ancestors always imagined that, even at the very end, we would solve one last mystery.
Is that me, or is that to sound like? At the very end of the game, you're gonna die. But the final mystery will be solved by doing so. Or again, are they just playing with us? I'm feeling a little bit toyed with. What would happen if we tried to go to the top floor, huh? What would happen if we pressed 6? What would happen if we defined Elohim? Query. Dad? Ooh. Nothing. 0 or 1. As far as we go. Oh, wait, there's more. On returning from the tower, I feel a great tiredness and an enormous energy. What I now know disturbs me, but I hope that by living with this knowledge, I might provide a shoulder for you, the giants of tomorrow. The view from the top must be incredible. Do you think the version numbers, like someone said earlier, are meaningful? Look. Version 17.10059, the view from the top must be incredible. Version 82, on returning from the tower, I feel the great tiredness. And this, maybe I'm really overthinking it, but that pattern is a lot more complex than that one. Did the original version just go, hey, the view must be great?
Where have you been, child? Remember, the great tower is not for you. Do not give up the hope of eternal life for the hollow promises of curiosity.
Query, Elohim. Well, the only way to open the next door go find pieces, eh? Oh, am I pronouncing Elohim wrong? Elohim? Elohim. Elohim. But this one is Seer Verthethane. This I think it said, oh, the shepherd. That just has an at. Shepherd version 82. Are these different? Seer version something? Sheep version something? There's statues, look. The building A has 2 headless statues in front of it. Building C has angels. Cue ominous Doctor Who music here. And pop building B are lions. Something very unnatural about that tower as well, isn't there? These glorious natural mountains and billowing clouds and the sunrise or sunset streaks out, and then there's just this big slab of... well, just a big slab. Alright. I'm afraid it's bedtime here. It's 10 past 10, work in the morning. So I must turn into a pumpkin. And so must you. If indeed you are not yet sleeping already.